Am I the asshole for taking the garden with me when I moved? I 30 female moved to a rented flat a few YRS ago. Me on the top floor and below me a guy J50. Both places are small 1BD, but there is a shared garden which is big but not cared for at all, super overgrown. I love gardening. I got permission from my landlord and Jay to get it looking decent so Jay and I could enjoy it. He said he's a busy guy and not interested nor uses it, so everyone was happy. I spent weeks getting it really lovely and spent the best part of £1,000 on it, and that was on a budget too. Lots of plants, a veggie patch, a few small trees. The veg patch would always yield a great amount, so I was always happy to share with Jay. He would buy me a case of beer once in a while as his way of payment. He even started inviting his friends over for BBQs etc. and vice versa. We always extended the invite to each other. It was flexible and easy. Jay was always a bit flirty with me, especially after a few, but it always felt harmless. I would even hang sometimes with his friends all male for a beer in the garden, but still never felt funny and was happy to banter. The problem started when I got a girlfriend S36. Jay didn't seem to vibe with her from the start. Obviously the more serious S and I got, the more she would stay over. This really seemed to bug Jay, but she was always considerate. She wouldn't use our parking spaces etc. I put it down to jealousy, but neither of us really cared, and as we got more serious we decided it was time to move in together. The final straw came when S was at my place alone and needed some veggies for a meal she was making us. She went to help herself. Jay was already in the garden, but when he saw her picking from the veg he had a go at her, accusing her of stealing and disrespecting me and him, as it was our tenants only garden. Anyway, when S left for work the next day she sent me a pic of her car with a key scratch that read Dyke on the side. So turns out Jay is a homophobic. He denied and we didn't have proof. We decided to escalate the move immediately. WW3 started when I decided to move my entire garden when Jay was at work to S's place. Luckily she has a big enough space to get everything in and a lot of plants I purposely planted so that they could be movable. I even took the vegetable patch and every damn bean. Yes, it looked a bit scrappy afterwards but was still better than when I first arrived. I even put down grass seed so the patchy bits would go completely back to normal. It'll grow back to be a totally plain weedless lawn. My phone has erupted. Jay has called me every name under the sun and has said I have ruined his property. The landlord is also pissed and has said I've ruined its value. And is threatening not to return my deposit and sue. I sent before and after pics of the garden to show I had only taken my property with me, and I've kept every receipt too to prove what I spent. They're threatening me, accusing me of stealing. I'm looking into my own legal action to get my deposit back. They've not got a leg to stand on. Am I the asshole for taking my garden with me? Edit. I did message landlord prior to moving to ask if he wanted to buy the garden, but I don't think he understood what I meant and I didn't press it further. Also, after I took it, I did message landlord to say again he could buy it back from me at cost of my purchase. But I would not replant it. Again, I don't think he understood. I believe Jay has told him that he bought half of the garden because he would buy me a case of beer every so often, which somehow justifies him slowly buying half off me. Suddenly the vegetables he consumed have been forgotten. Not the asshole, and make sure the landlord knows that you moved because someone keyed your GF's car with a homophobic message. Not the asshole and agree with the above comment. Make sure your landlord knows that your move is precedented by someone keying homophobic slurs into your girlfriend's car. Also, attach the permission from landlord that you made it look decent, along with receipts of things you bought, and make sure to tell him in writing that if he does not return your deposit back as he is legally required to do so, you have already made arrangements with counsel and he will receive correspondence in the next few days to get a civil case started. Even if none of that is true, do it. Not the asshole. You relinquished the property in its original state. Still probably looked better than it did originally if it was overgrown before you cleaned it up. Those were your plants, not your landlord's. I'm glad you were able to move out of that space in which you felt uncomfortable and unsafe. Kind of a Seussian sentence, op. Best wishes moving forward. Not the asshole and serves him right, and you even were nice enough to patch up the bits anyway. I'm glad you have pics and receipts, because even if the landlord doesn't sue, if he doesn't return your deposit within a certain amount of time, you can dispute it and sometimes get more back. Time and dollar depend on your state. We'd enjoy this in our petty revenge too. Not the asshole. If you left it looking better than it looked when you arrived, you're definitely not the asshole here. Your girlfriend was harassed and so you felt like you had to leave. There's nothing stopping landlord and Jay from doing what you had done to the garden. Not the asshole. Tenants are allowed to take their improvements as long as they put the property back to the original condition. Jay is pissed about the pretty party space being gone. Too bad, so sad. Landlord doesn't have a leg to stand on. Check the laws about deposits in your area here. If you don't follow exactly the law, you get triple back. Send the landlord a demand letter with pictures of before and after. Hey, if you are in the UK and go to arbitration in your deposit scheme, then please make sure you have a well-written explanation. Lots of people just provide pictures like before versus after, some attachments, and presume they will win. Even if it's clear to a logical person, that can go against them. The written part is just as important. Have a clear and succinct written document outlining why you are due your deposit back. Good luck and not the asshole. File a police report of the abuse Jay gave your girlfriend and also the damage to your car. Might also want to throw the word defamation at him, i.e., call you a thief. And know your plants and your maintenance. Not the asshole. Edit. Typo. Am I the asshole for ruining a company gift for my manager who has cancer? Definitely need some background info for this one. To start off with, I work with my best friend's mom. I have been friends with her for 4 years and have worked with her mom for about 1.5 years. My best friend is the one who helped me get this job. I am the youngest one here by 20 years, so a lot of my ideas get pushed to the side, ignored, since I'm closer to my coworkers' children's age than their age, which I'm fine with. I really don't care. And #X200B. My manager was recently diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer and has since moved to San Antonio for treatment. She is a very lovely woman who cares for her workers and is very nice and an amazing human being and boss. My boss, Mary, and her husband now live in a small apartment in San Antonio with very little furniture as they wanted to take as little items with them as they could. They have taken a queen-sized air mattress, a TV, a workstation, her cat, and 2 $250 camping chairs from Cabela's, and they are really nice chairs. Multiple people in Mary's life have offered to buy her furniture such as a couch, a bed, chairs, etc., and she has refused all of them because she doesn't want to deal with having to take them back home or having to sell them. And #X200B. Fast forward to about 2 weeks ago, my coworkers decided to get Mary a gift basket full of items, and one of my coworkers suggested we buy her a recliner. I had mentioned that Mary said she didn't want any furniture and that I don't think that's a good idea. Everyone else said that she needs to be more comfortable than $250 camping chairs and that she's fine now, but as she gets further into her treatment she may be more uncomfortable. I had talked to my best friend, Mary's daughter, about the idea and her face dropped. She said her mom does not want furniture, never wanted furniture, has rejected furniture from 3 or 4 other people, and will not like this gift idea. The following Monday I let my coworkers know I talked to Mary's daughter and I told them what she had said to me. Later that day they get a call from someone else in the company who has been a longtime friend of Mary. Their children grew up together, and she also said that getting Mary the recliner was a bad idea. And #X200B. My coworkers still talked about it and decided they wanted to get her the recliner and shot down every other gift idea I had said. Well, I was hanging out with my best friend again this past weekend and we were drunk venting about husbands, boyfriends and such, and my coworkers came up. I let her know that my coworkers were still going to go along with buying her the recliner and ignored me completely when I said it wasn't a good idea. Well, my best friend told her mom and her mom talked with my coworkers. And #X200B. Now, they're not going to be getting her a gift at all because, somehow, someway Mary found out and she threw a fit about it, word for word what a coworker said. This should be about her and what she wants and not us and what we want to get her. So, ATIA for ruining the gift idea completely. Not the asshole. They were being selfish and only thinking about themselves and how good it would make them feel to get her something like that. You were actually being a good person and listening to what Mary did and didn't want. Not the asshole. It's the thought that counts, only applies if the giver put actual thought into the gift. Getting a gift that everyone said the receiver wouldn't enjoy or appreciate is worse than an empty gesture, especially when furniture is involved, because the receiver now has to deal with an unwanted gift. Shame on your coworkers for throwing a temper tantrum and saying they won't get her anything. That's just petty and spiteful. May I suggest you, if you want to, lead the gift-giving effort picking something she would like or enjoy or otherwise be meaningful. Then see who you can get one-on-one to commit. You may have better success and it may help you not feel guilty, which you shouldn't feel anyway, but feelings do their own thing. Not the asshole. Your last line says it perfectly, it should be about her and what she wants. Well done actually for making that happen. It would have been worse for Mary if they had actually bought the damn thing. Not the asshole. You took Mary's feelings into account when your coworkers didn't. You didn't talk to Mary about the chair. Others who know her better did. She responded exactly as those close to her knew she would. You're not the asshole for caring more about someone's feelings than about a symbolic feel-good gesture. Not the asshole. They all just wanted to be seen on social media doing something nice for someone and completely made it 100% about them. Which is why they are not refusing to get her anything at all. This was never about Mary. It was about their own egos. Not the asshole. They were being selfish. If someone doesn't want something and you get it for them anyway, it's not a gift. It's a burden. So, no, you're not the asshole for ruining their burden idea completely. FIFY. Not the asshole sounds like you were standing up for your boss's wants and needs when everyone else was just trying to make a splashy gift. Kudos. When my husband had cancer, his friends and family thought they knew what was best for him and always tried to do things he didn't want. Getting more and more pushy and aggressive. The poor guy was on his deathbed begging me to get them to stop. I don't care that they now think I am a massively selfish cunt. I advocated for him when he was dying. Your coworkers can fuck off. Oh, not the asshole. Am I the asshole for ratting out my assistant, colleague and getting her fired to save my own job? I know how it sounds, but please read before you judge. I've, 30M, worked at my current employer for 3 years. Last year, March 2020, I received a promotion to project manager. In the beginning everything went well, but in the last month I've been getting more and more negative feedback. I did not understand what was going on or why people were becoming so negative about me. I was losing clients and several colleagues were really upset with me. I was at a loss. I started talking to my manager and my department head about following courses, getting monthly feedback to perform better. I just wanted to live up to the promotion I received. I felt like I was failing. Then a friend, colleague, 27F, of mine came to me angry and demanded that I apologize for what I said. I was really confused and asked her why she was so upset with me. She explained she received an email where I was basically blaming her for the issues that I was dealing with. This was an email a client forwarded her. I was at a loss and explained I never send out an email like that and if she could show me. She did and it had my name, my send address and everything seemed like it was from me, but I never send it. Then it clicked with me. My assistant, 39F, has access to my email and has the ability to send as me. She's also the only one that has these rights. I was flabbergasted and so much started to make sense. She was next in line for my job and did not receive the promotion, I did. I checked all her sent mail on her PC, while she was out for lunch, and saw dozens of emails sent as if it was me. An email, still open on her screen, showed my email address and a written message to clients with misinformation, passive aggressiveness and straight-up lies. These were sent out under my name. I made screenshots and sent them to myself, then went to my manager and the head of the department. They were pissed. She was fired that same day. I was relieved and all my colleagues were informed. I thought I was completely in the right here, but some people at work are complaining that I violated company policy for snooping on her PC and violating her privacy. My boss and direct colleagues have my back, but the people that knew her, she has worked there since 2011 and I've only been here since 2018, say I went too far. Apparently she's a single mother with 2 kids and needed this job. I also need this job and she was more than willing to sacrifice me for her benefit. I don't see how I could be in the wrong for defending myself. Maybe I'm just too close to the situation to see it? Did I go too far by going on her PC? TLR, am I the asshole for snooping on my assistant's PC and with it breaking a privacy policy of the company, to prove she was sabotaging me and getting her fired while saving my own job? And #X200B. Update. They just let me know they're holding a meeting to clarify what exactly happened. They were catching on to the people that weren't happy about her being fired and they want to quell any issues before they start taking root. I'll update again once the meeting is over. It's in 1H and 20 minutes from now. Not the asshole. She was trying to screw over your career through lies and deceptions and you caught her and she received the correct punishment for her actions. You didn't get her fired. She did this to herself. Someone would have figured it out eventually. She chose to risk her job and endanger the business with her deceitful behavior. Losing her position is a natural consequence of her choices. Not the asshole. I hope you are able to continue to repair your reputation from the damage she caused. Not the asshole, she got what she deserved. Who cares, she worked there longer and is a single mother of 2. If she so needs the job, then she should have taken into account possible scenarios her actions would lead to. This was one of them. Why should people pity someone for the situations they themselves put themselves into? Info. What is the privacy policy of the company? If it's work equipment, owned by the company, I don't think you can have an expectation for privacy. Also, she's your assistant and has the ability to send emails as you, so you have the right to look at anything she's sending on your behalf, and it seems like you did it just in time. If she has the brass to send out emails full of lies as you, then she has to accept the consequences. You are absolutely not the asshole. Not only was she destroying your good name, but also the good name of your company. The executive clearly picked the right person for the job, you. I think your story pretty much explains why she didn't receive the promotion. And why she was sacked. Not the asshole, obviously her friends would have her back, but what she did was shady and she deserved what she got. If your boss doesn't have a problem, then don't worry. Not the asshole. If you hadn't found out, this could have impacted your career for years. You still have to go back to your clients and explain the situation. But some people at work are complaining that I violated company policy for snooping on her PC and violating her privacy. If she left her computer unlocked, that's usually a violation of company policy for this reason. Yes, you could have asked HR to check her emails, but it's understandable why you looked when you could. And on violating privacy. Even as admin, sending emails from someone else's account that you were not told to send is a privacy violation. Not the asshole. Single mother or not, she got what she deserved. What she did was unprofessional, unacceptable, and actually disgusting. Am I the asshole for moving when they were out of town? Throwaway. And #X200B. I, am 21, grew up with my mom, 38, and a collection of stepdads, while mom had a problem with cheating, that always left eventually. One stepfather left behind my sister, 18, who now has issues. She left at 16 to live with her dad. Growing up, mom didn't have a lot of time for us. It was up to our grandparents or stepdads to do everything. Life was uncomfortable and it was isolating because our stepfathers would ultimately leave. My bio dad has nothing to do with me and never has, and I think it's because of my mom, so I didn't have another parent to go to. And my mom would cut off anyone who even suggested that she maybe work at finding some peace for herself. And #X200B. About 3 years ago, my mom started cheating again. My sister started making plans then to live with her dad. I figured I was about to have a new stepdad, but I was almost 18 and graduating soon, so I was already planning an escape. Stepfather left and mom packed us up and told us she'd bought a house. Turns out, she'd bought a house with a new girlfriend, but it was small, so my sister and I were going to share a room. Thankfully, my grandma stepped in. The move happened, but my grandparents paid for a porch to be enclosed, so I had my own room. Mom's new girlfriend said it would be harder to keep an eye on me out there. So, she took my electronics and installed tons of locks. She'd turn off internet so we couldn't do anything. We had no TV, no landline, nothing. I tried to talk to Mom and Carrie. Nothing worked. Then Carrie installed cameras inside and outside and insisted that I stay on the family plan. Mom took Carrie's side no matter what. Every night was a fight and Carrie kept taking my things as punishments. We weren't allowed to be home alone. They would come home early or we had to go to grandma's. We had to go with them if they left the house. The only time we didn't go was the weekend they left to get married and didn't tell us. And #X200B. 6 months ago, sister was already gone and Mom and Carrie were going on a trip. We fought. I refused to call off of work and I didn't want to stay with grandma and her 100 cats. They finally agreed to leave me home alone. I was supposed to work and check in constantly. Instead, the night they left, I went home from work and took everything that was mine. My girlfriend picked me up and I left my phone on the kitchen counter. And #X200B. Now I'm living with my girlfriend and going to school and working. My sister cut off contact with the entire family. After the texts and calls from Mom and Carrie stopped, my grandparents are still mad that I left in the middle of the night while Mom and Carrie were out of town. All because, your moms trusted you to watch over the house and they trusted you to do the right thing. I say that one of them isn't my mom. They have cameras to watch everything, And I did do the right thing for me. I'm still being told I did what I did in a way that makes me an asshole. So, am I the asshole? So very much not the asshole. What a horrible life you have described. I hope you have found peace. Please stay away from them. Absolutely not the asshole. You didn't move out. You escaped. And you do not owe your mum captors any notice. Protect the house is nonsense as they want you to be with grandparents. Clearly, you should cut your mum completely, but you should have the grandparents at least in a very long time out. Best of luck. Not the asshole slow clap. Congrats on starting the first chapter in your adult life. There are loads of resources available, some take some work and patience, but it's worth it in the end. Good for you for realizing you need to cut contact with the toxicity in your life. This is monumental, especially as young as you are. It took me 28 years to get that much courage. Check out Raised by Narcissists. It's a great community filled with many others who have been through similar toxic situations. Good luck beginning your life. It's actually an incredible world out there, I promise. NTA. Let's be honest, they installed the cameras not for security but because they were paranoid you would touch anything, God forbid. You were literally a prisoner there and your mother is literally the asshole for letting her partner treat her kids this way. And they are only mad 'cause you left with what's yours too. Not the asshole. You did what was best for you. You are not a prisoner and they treated you terribly. You had every right to take the opportunity to escape when you did. I would also go no contact. The fact grandma didn't step in as well makes her an AH as well as mum and step. Definitely not the asshole. If you told your mom or her wife that you were leaving they would have made it hell to get out. I'm glad both you and your sister got away. Not the asshole. Congratulations on escaping a horribly toxic situation. Not the asshole. Have you thought that this might have been your stepmom's plan all along? Make life so revolting for you and your sister that you would both eventually move out? Not saying it is. Just a thought.